Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. It's the Blue Crabs and the Dirty Birds for game 2 of a 3-game set. Testing 1 2 3.
Glenville State University for tonight's ceremonial first pitch. Dr. Manchin has been an educator for over 40 years and has dedicated himself to the betterment of the state of West Virginia through education. He and his wife Gigi have 5 children and 3 grandchildren. Glenville State 150th anniversary this year and offers in addition to new master's degree programs and a nursing program offered in partnership with Marshall University. President Manchin welcomes everyone to the ballpark this evening, particularly the Glenville State alumni and friends in attendance.
In the shadow of the West Virginia State Capitol building, it's time for Blue Crabs baseball on a Saturday night in Charleston, West Virginia at Appalachian Power Park. The Blue Crabs, winners of back-to-back games, they come into this contest. They also start the season 33-11. Well, let's take a look at last night's ball game. The Blue Crabs got off to a fast start in the first inning. They scored 1 run, and they never looked back. The Blue Crabs ended up winning game 1 of the series 7-1. 1 run in the first inning. They added 3 more in the third on a trio of base hits. It was Braxton Lee who made it a 4-0 game on a sacrifice fly. In the fourth inning, the Blue Crabs continued to score. It was Joe Testa who entered the game for the Charleston Dirty Birds, but the result was more of the same. He had a couple of walks and a couple of hit batsmen, and the Blue Crabs capitalized on him again. Joe DeLuca with a 4-hit game drove in an RBI in the fourth inning. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs also got a big helping hand from their starting pitcher, Mackenzie Mills, who had a terrific performance last night. 8 innings of work for the big lefty, who threw 100 pitches and did not allow a single run. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs will look for more out of that from Darrell Thompson, who is their starting pitcher tonight. But first, let's go over a couple of numbers, I should say. This year, the team comes into the game 33-11 against the Charleston Dirty Birds, who are 18-26. The Blue Crabs with an emphatic 11.5 game lead over the second team in the North Division, the Long Island Ducks. The Blue Crabs in night games are 26-10. They're 4-1 in their last 5, 8-2 in their last 10 games. The Blue Crabs are 27-5 when they score more than 3 runs. And when they score first, they're 17-2. When they out-hit their opponents, they are 19-3. In the month of May, the team is 8-2. Well, let's go through our starting lineups for today's ball game with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. It's Matt Hibbert who leads things off. He's in center field. Michael Wolanski bats second. He's at second base. Jared Walker bats third in left field. David Harris bats fourth. He's the cleanup hitter and the designated hitter in today's ballgame. Alex Crosby bats fifth. He plays third base. Joe DeLuca in the sixth spot. He's at first base. Braxton Lee in right field to get things started for the Blue Crabs. It's the 8 hitter, Ryan Haug, who follows Lee. He's doing the catching tonight. And Michael Baca closes out the order at shortstop. Let's run through the Charleston Dirty Birds starting lineups and then bring you around the diamond for both teams. Anthony Seymour leads off for the Charleston Dirty Birds today. He's in center field. Engel Beltre is in left field. Juan Perez in right. He bats third. Nick Longy is the cleanup hitter for Charleston. Diego Goris follows Longy. It's Scott Burcham in the sixth spot. And Jovan Gonzalez is the designated hitter. He bats seventh. Tyler Blum is doing the catching. He bats eighth. And Scott Kelly closes out the order. And he's at third base. So let's bring you through the pitching matchup for today's game after we give you the defensive alignment, starting with the Dirty Birds, who will take the field in the top of the first inning. It's Engel Beltre in left, Anthony Seymour in center, Juan Perez is in right. From third to first, it's Scott Kelly, Scott Burcham at short, Diego Goris at second, Nick Longy at first, and Tyler Blum is doing the catching for Derek Adams. We'll bring you through the starting pitchers when we come back from the national anthem.
Center fielder number 4,
Well, Matt Hibbert will lead things off for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We'll run you back through Southern Maryland's lineup and give you more information on the starting pitcher. For the Charleston Dirty Birds, the lefty Derek Adams, as the first pitch is low for ball one, and the count 1 ball and no strikes now on the right-handed hitter Matt Hibbert, who's in the leadoff spot. 1-0 pitch. A little bit upstairs, it was close, and the count 2 balls and no strikes now on the righty. Blue Crabs ordered from top to bottom after this pitch, the 2-0 offering. Called strike on the inside corner. Matt Hibbert bats first. Michael Wolanski bats second. Jared Walker in the 3 spot. David Harris is the cleanup hitter. Alex Crosby bats fifth. It's Joe DeLuca who bats sixth. Braxton Lee in the 7 spot. Ryan Haug is doing the catching. He bats eighth. And Michael Baca closes out the order. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball called strike. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the right-handed hitter, Matt Hibbert. On the mound, it is Derek Adams. 2-2 pitch, a little bit low and in. Well, the lefty, Derek Adams, on the season is 1-4. He has a 5.83 ERA. 3-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. And hit the netting. It was headed toward me here in the press box without that netting. There were some fans in the first couple of rows who were flinching. Well, Derek Adams against Lexington in his last appearance, 5 innings, 4 runs. 3-2 pitch, called strike 3. The home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, rings him up. And there is one away in the top of the first inning. Brings up Michael Wolanski. The last 3 performances have been especially tough for Adams. We'll get there after this pitch as the first one misses away to Wolanski in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. Top of the first inning, 1 out. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a high pop-up, first base side foul. In the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Over his last 3 innings, he's pitched 14 1/3 innings, and he has allowed 15 earned runs. ERA north of 9 over his last 3 starts. 1-1 pitch, up and in, count 2 balls and 1 strike. And up until that point, his ERA on the season was 2.40. His first 4 starts good. His last 3, not so much. 2-1, swinging a high fly ball, deep left center field, back to the warning track, at the wall, it is gone. Michael Wolanski hits a solo home run and gives the Blue Crabs the lead here in the top of the first inning. Wolanski has been red hot at the plate recently. Since joining the Blue Crabs, he's hitting .320. And Wolanski, across the month of June, just hit his 2nd home run and drove in his 8th RBI in just 8 games. Well, Michael Wolanski has really thrived since joining Southern Maryland. And another example just moments ago, if there was any question who the Blue Crabs are going to in the near future in that middle infield, well, Wolanski is making the case for remaining a staple. First pitch is a called strike on Jared Walker. Wolanski stayed in AAA for the majority of last year with the Houston Astros organization. And the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, calls time. 1-0 Blue Crabs. Solo shot off the bat of Michael Wolanski. I'm not quite sure exactly what the issue is about. Tyler Blum is talking with the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, and the batter, Jared Walker, who's in left field again today. 0-1 pitch. That's low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. In the last series, Jared Walker was 5 for 11. Had 3 runs scored and drove in 4 RBIs. Yesterday, he reached twice. This one swinging a high fly ball, deep right field, back to the warning track, and it tails foul at the last moment. Very well hit ball down the right field line, And Jared Walker almost made it back-to-back home runs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the lefty. And the toast man says fire up the toaster. 1-2, swinging a high pop-up, third base side. It's going to get into the seats. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. For those of you unfamiliar with the toast man, he does a lot of toasting, just, traditional white bread before the game. And he's got a bunch of burnt pieces of toast, and he throws them at people. And not all that well usually. The 1-2 pitch is cut on and foul back. The lefty-lefty matchup. A lot of times his intended target will be 2 or 3 rows back from where the piece of toast landed. So you can always eat the toast if you catch it, but you're probably not going to catch it. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm not sure. Maybe he mixes it up and adds some whole wheat toast in there. Rye bread. I think it's traditional white bread, though. 2-2 pitch cut on and popped up. Third base side. It's Scott Kelly who ranges over. He gives chase but runs out of room. Scott Kelly also the hitting coach for the Charleston Dirty Birds. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Jared Walker. 1 out in the top of the first inning. Also adds a tight pants chant. It's an interesting one. 2-2. That's upstairs. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. But it's fun to come to a ball game. Have some toast. Get some chance going. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a line drive foul. First base side. And the count 3 balls and 2 strikes it remains. Base paths are empty. 1 out in the top of the first inning. 1-0 Blue Crabs. 3-2 pitch was about to be on its way, but the home plate umpire Kirk Powell called time yet again. The reason he's called time twice, I couldn't tell you. The pitch was about to be thrown. Everything seemed to be in order. No shift on Walker. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball, foul, rolled over to the first base side. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, top of the first inning, and it's been a tough one so far for Derek Adams. Allowed a solo shot, and that was the 10th pitch of the at-bat to Jared Walker. The 11th pitch, ooh, a little bit low and away. Ball 4. And Jared Walker reaches first base on the 22nd pitch from Derek Adams. The Blue Crabs are looking to get to the West Virginia bullpen early. Well, they've done some work already. An 11-pitch walk issued to Jared Walker. And with just 1 out in the inning, Derek Adams will throw his 23rd pitch. And that pitch is upstairs for ball 1 on the cleanup hitter, David Harris. In yesterday's ball game, Harris was 1 for 4, had an RBI, 2-run score. This one swinging a ground ball to short. This could be 2. Bertram to second for 1. Goris to first. It's a double play. 6-4-3 to end the top of the first inning. Well, it looked like it might be a long first inning for Derek Adams. He threw 22 pitches across his first 3 batters, but just 1 pitch to record the final 2 outs of the top of the first inning. The Blue Crabs have a 1-0 lead off the solo shot from Michael Wilansky. Stick with us.
This is Andres Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, that brings us to the bottom of the first inning. The Blue Crabs won, and the Charleston Dirty Birds nothing. I'm about to call them the West Virginia Power, their old name. First pitch swinging from Anthony Seymour. Ground ball over to short. Quick play from Michael Baca to toss the first in time to get the speedster Seymour. And there is one out. And Angel Beltre comes in. And his walk-up song, it's just a must listen to. I've never heard anything like it. I heard he does go by Picante Picante. First pitch, a little bit inside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes now. Daryl Thompson on the mound for the Blue Crabs. More on him in a moment. The 1-0 pitch is cut on and foul back. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. He was the 2021 and the 2019 Atlantic League Pitcher of the Year. It's back-to-back titles since there was no Pitcher of the Year in 2020 due to the COVID year. 1-1 pitch, low, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Base paths are empty with 1 out. Blue Crabs 1, the Dirty Birds nothing in the bottom of the first inning for Angel Beltre. 2-1 pitch, swinging a high pop-up third base side. Alex Crosby ranges over and makes the catch in foul territory. And there are 2 away quickly for Daryl Thompson. Well, I said I'd get to the numbers on Thompson. I think it's about time I do so. Well, Daryl Thompson comes in with a 3.88 ERA, a whip of 1.24. And Daryl Thompson's last start, he went against the Lancaster Barnstormers, 8 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. Very impressive performance from the righty. First pitch now is low and away on Juan Perez. For Lancaster, this one swinging a ground ball over to the third base side to the Blue Crabs dugout. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Across the month of May, he had a 4.54 ERA. A couple of good starts mixed in between. He had 6 innings and 1 run against Lancaster, 8 shutout innings against Charleston. As the 1-1 pitch is upstairs, count 2-1 against Long Island, 6 innings, 2 runs. But he had his fair share of outings where he struggled. 2-1 pitch, swinging a high fly ball, right field. Easily playable for Braxton Lee, who takes a couple steps back to make the final catch. The Blue Crabs retire the Dirty Birds in order. The end of 1 inning of play at Southern Maryland 1 and Charleston nothing. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Top of the second inning, the first pitch from the starting pitcher for the Charleston Dirty Birds, Derek Adams, is outside in the count. 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty Alex Crosby. 1-0, swinging a line drive, right field line. This ball fails, is in fair territory, goes all the way to the corner. Crosby rounds second. He's headed to third. The throw to third is not in time. A strong throw from the second baseman, Diego Goris. But Alex Crosby beat it out. And there is a runner on third with nobody out. A leadoff triple for Alex Crosby. On the first inning, the Blue Crabs took a 1-0 lead on a solo shot from Michael Wolanski. But here in the second, the Blue Crabs had the leadoff man on. Blue Crabs are going for their 3rd straight win today. Also their 8th win in their last 9 contests. The Blue Crabs come in with a 33-11 record. Here's the pitch to DeLuca. Fastball, a little bit away in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 pitch is away in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out in the top of the second inning. Runner on third base. 2-0 pitch to DeLuca. Called strike on the inside corner. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. I'm sure you can hear a number of the different chants that the Toast Man has included. 2-1 pitch, fastball, swing and a miss, up and out of the zone. And it count 2 balls and 2 strikes. DeLuca, when hitting from the right side of the plate, has a .636 batting average. 2-2 pitch, though, is cut on and missed. DeLuca goes down swinging. And there's one away. And let's see, the Toast Man is going to toss out some toast. Some of these are caught, but a lot of them are not. He throws them sort of like a frisbee. Almost landed on top of one of the fans' heads. This one's sailing between about 5 fans. Oh, the first pitch to Braxton Lee is upstairs in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. Runner on third base, 1 out. The 1-0 pitch, that's up and away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Braxton Lee in the top of the second inning. With a runner on third base, Blue Crabs looking to extend that 1-0 lead. This one, swinging a ground ball slowly to short. The throw to the plate is not in time. The shortstop Bertram fielded it and threw home. The catcher Blum was going to have to make a hard play because the throw was to the first base side of home plate. And by the time Blum was able to tag the runner, Alex Crosby, it was far too late. The Blue Crabs have taken a 2-0 lead. An RBI for Braxton Lee on a ground ball in the infield. There's a runner on first base now and 1 out. Two 2-0 Blue Crabs. The pitch to Ryan Haug, a called strike. He showed bunt, pulled back, but it was in the zone nonetheless. And the count 0-1. The Blue Crabs have struck again here in the second inning. Have a runner on first base still as well. Adams tosses to first base to check on Braxton Lee. Braxton Lee is a bit of a threat to run. He is 6 for 6 in stolen bases so far this season. 0-1 to Haug. Called strike. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. No balls and 2 strikes on Haug. Toastman says fire up the toaster. The toaster's already been fired up. They're just pieces of toast laying out there. The 0-2 pitch swung on and fouled off first base side in front of a packed crowd tonight at Appalachian Power Park. It's tough to gauge exactly what percent, but I'd say probably 60% full. And there are sections where it's totally packed, and there are sections where it's not all that packed. By and large, a good number tonight at Appalachian Power Park. 0-2 pitch up and away. The count, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and a lot of fans on the concourse still here in the top of the second inning. Going back to the fire up the toaster. I mean, maybe he should just say, let's just throw out the toast, right? I mean, the toaster's already been fired up. 1-2 pitch, it was close, missed a little bit inside. And now the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The Blue Crabs with a 2-0 lead in the top of the second. 2 runs on 2 hits for Southern Maryland. That most recent pitch looked really good. It tosses over to first to check on Braxton Lee, who reached on a fielder's choice. He does not get a hit for that. Actually, for his batting average, is credited with an out. Runner on first and 1 out. Haug steps back in from the right side. Does get credit with an RBI, though. It's probably the most important part for him. 2-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball over to third. Fielded by Kelly on his second for 1. Back on to first, the double play. 5-4-3 to end the second inning. Derek Adams has been helped out with a pair of double play balls. 1 in the first and 1 in the second, but the Blue Crabs have scored a run in the first and the second. They've got a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second inning.
Hey, Dirty Birds fans, don't forget tomorrow we have a 5:05 Sunday game. We will be giving away a signed photo of Anthony Seymour thanks to United.
Here comes Nick Longy in the bottom of the second inning. The Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead over the Charleston Dirty Birds. Now the Dirty Birds were retired in order 1, 2, 3 in the first. The 10th pitch from Daryl Thompson is away for ball one. The trivia question coming your way in the top of the fourth inning. Trying to get some more answers today than we got yesterday. 1-0 pitch, swinging a line drive, left field. It's the left fielder, Jared Walker, who trots in and has to field this ball on a bounce. It's a leadoff single in the second inning for Nick Longy. Runner on first base with nobody out. Blue Crabs defensive alignment. In left field, it's Jared Walker. In center, it's Matt Hibbert. In right field, Braxton Lee from third to first. Alex Crosby at third, Michael Baca at second, or at Michael Baca at short, I should say. Michael Wolanski at second, Joe DeLuca at first base, and it's Ryan Haug doing the catching for Daryl Thompson. The first pitch to the 5-hitter, Diego Goris. A little bit low in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. 2-0 Blue Crabs. A run in the first, a run in the second, and that's how we got here. 0-1 pitch, that's away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Goris hitting .250 on the season. He bats fifth. 2, 3, and 4. That's the real heart of this order for the Dirty Birds. Beltre, Perez, and Longy. Swinging a ground ball over to third. This could be 2 on to second for 1. Back on to first. 5-4-3 double play. And Diego Goris gives Daryl Thompson a bit of a break after Nick Longy led off the inning with a single. The Blue Crabs just 1 out away from getting out of the bottom of the second inning. And Scott Burcham comes to the plate. Burcham has had a tough year so far. He started the season with the Blue Crabs. He played last year in AAA. Hitting .214 on the year. The first pitch is low for ball one. Played with AAA Albuquerque last year in the Rockies organization. 1-0 pitch, called strike. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now in the bottom of the second inning. Hit .234 in AAA. Had 1 homer and 9 RBIs. 1-1 pitch, swinging a high fly ball, center field, straight away. Matt Hibbert now has to take a few steps back in front of the warning track where he makes the catch. The Blue Crabs retire the Dirty Birds in order once again. The Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead as we go to the top of the third inning. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, we go to the top of the third inning. The first pitch to Michael Baca, swinging a ground ball, third base side, foul. And the count 0-1 on the righty who plays shortstop today. The Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead in the top of the third inning. A run in the first on a solo shot off the bat of Michael Wolanski. And this one swinging a line drive into left field for a base hit. Baca had a hit yesterday. He's got a hit today. So back-to-back hits, or hits in back-to-back games, I should say, for the 9-hitter. His batting average continues to rise across the month of June. He's hitting upwards of 280. And Baca started this year in a real slump. Hit under 140 in the month of April. That continued through the early parts of May. But he really picked things up on that long road trip, hit over 350. He's continued to hit since then as well. First pitch is a called strike now on the leadoff hitter. That's Michael Baca, the count 0-1 on the right-handed hitter. Oh, 1 pitch, that's upstairs. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Hibbert went down on strikes his first time up. 1-1 delivery. Breaking ball, big swing and a miss. Runner on first base, nobody out. The Blue Crabs 2 and the Charleston Dirty Birds nothing. 1-2 pitch, that's low in the dirt. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The toast man now yelling something about a Krabby Patty. I couldn't tell you what that's referring to. But with 2 strikes on the batter, he's always yelling about firing up the toaster. So I guess it's just a matter of time. At some point, the Dirty Birds will have another strikeout of this game. We'll have to hear more about the toast. Oh, a 2-2 pitch is a called strike 3. And there is one away, and now it's going. He's firing them deep. And I'd say he's got about a 35% completion percentage. Fires to first and sends Michael Baca scampering back to the bag. 1 away and a runner on first base. The pitch, that's low. Count 1 ball and no strikes now on Michael Wolanski, who went deep his first time up. Wolanski 262 on the season. Came to the Blue Crabs hitting exactly 200. 1-0 pitch. That's away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Wolanski has played quite well against Charleston. A lot of that came with the Ducks. He played very well in the month of April, had a very cold May. This one swinging a slow ground ball over to short. Going to be a tough play. Barehanded by the shortstop Bertram, and the throw to first is in time. 2 away. A really nice play by the shortstop Bertram. Wolanski doesn't run all that well. And there's a runner on first, or runner on second base as Baca goes from first to second with 2 outs. Back to that point about Wolanski. Hit .471 in April, .087 in May. But here in June, he's hitting .320. Hit his second home run in the month earlier this inning, or earlier this game. Runner on second base, 2 outs. First pitch, swinging a line drive, right center field deep. Seymour back. This one hops the wall. Baca comes in and scores from first base. It's an RBI double. The first baseman, Nick Longy, is petitioning to the umpires to see if that's going to be going as a ground rule double. As the Charleston Dirty Birds were looking for an appeal on that play. Well, either way, it's going to be, it would score Baca, as Baca came in and scored from second base, not first base. The Blue Crabs have taken a 3-0 lead on an RBI double off the bat of Jared Walker. Runner on second still and 2 outs. The Blue Crabs have taken a 3-0 lead. I'm not exactly sure what the umpires are going to be discussing here. But the manager for the Charleston Dirty Birds, Billy Horn, has told the umpires to convene. Kirk Powell, Bob Wayford, and Andy McPherson, the three umpires in today's ball game. I'm not sure it makes any difference, though, because Baca was already on second base if it was a ground rule double or not. So the result would be the same. I'd understand if Walker had somehow gotten a triple out of that, but it's just an RBI double. So the Blue Crabs have taken a 3-0 lead. They've got 1 run in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 here in the third inning. As David Harris comes to the plate. Runner on second, 2 outs. First pitch, that's low and in. Count 1 ball and no strikes. On the right-handed hitter, David Harris. The Blue Crabs are looking for their 3rd consecutive win. They have a 3-0 lead in the top of the 3rd. Blue Crabs had a 5-game winning streak that came to an end in game 1 of their doubleheader. This one swinging a line drive, deep right field, back, and it's going to one-hop the right field wall. From second base, it's Jared Walker who scores a run. The right fielder, Juan Perez, throws the ball in quickly and holds David Harris to an RBI double. The Blue Crabs now with 2 in the 4th. They lead it 4-0. As David Harris went the other way with that line drive. And it's a 4-0 lead for the Blue Crabs in the top of the 3rd. The Blue Crabs had a 4-0 lead after the 3rd inning in yesterday's game as well. Southern Maryland tallied 3 more in the 4th yesterday. It took a 7-0 lead, and that's where this game remained all the way through until the 9th inning, when Charleston added a single run, a 7-1 ball game. This one swinging a high pop-up, shallow right field, and the left fielder, it's Engel Beltre who comes in and makes the catch as he and Scott Bertram, the shortstop, were convening in shallow left. And the Blue Crabs score 2 runs in the top of the 3rd inning, but they strand 1 at the end of 2.5. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 4-0 lead over the Dirty Birds. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services, and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
7, 8, and 9 will come to the plate for the Charleston Dirty Birds. In the bottom of the third inning, the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead, and it's Yoban Gonzalez who steps in. First pitch is a little bit low and away, in the count 1 ball and no strikes. Our trivia question coming to you in the top of the fourth inning. If anyone would like a shout out, please send it to the YouTube chat. Be happy to give you a shout out in today's game. 1-0 pitch, that's a little low and away, in the count 2 balls and no strikes. Well, happy everybody's decided to join us on a terrific evening in Charleston. 2-0, that's a called strike in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out, the bases are empty as Gonzalez leads off the 2-1, swung on and fouled away, first base side. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gonzalez, the biggest power bat for Charleston. He's hit 12 home runs on this season. Or beg your pardon. He has 12 RBIs this season, just 2 home runs. 2-2 pitches swung on and fouled away, first base side. The count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch is low and away. Count 3-2. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high pop up. Shallow right field. Braxton Lee takes a few steps over toward the right field line where he makes the catch for the first out. Well, there's 1 away now in the bottom of the third inning. The Toast Man was just yelling something about Daryl Thompson. He's got quite a few chants he makes. He really has this whole act now down to a T. He's got these signs as well. He holds them up and he tries to get everybody in his section going. First pitch is a little bit low in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. He's not directly behind home plate. He is closer to the opposing team's dugout. And believe me, all the players can hear him. Most of the fans can hear him. 1-0 pitch, and that's a little bit inside. Count 2 balls and no strikes now on Tyler Blum. Blum bats 8th with 1 out. In the bottom of the third inning. Swan swinging a line drive up the middle. It's a base hit, the second hit on the day for the Charleston Dirty Birds. That brings up Scott Kiley. The Blue Crabs got out of a bit of a jam in the second inning on a Diego Goris 6-4-3 double play. Scott Kelly, who's also the hitting coach for the Dirty Birds, comes to the plate. Kelly hits .220 on the year. Plays third base. Lou Ford of the Ducks, also a player coach as their hitting coach. First pitch is low and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes now on Kelly. Runner on first base and 1 out. Count 1 ball and no strikes under blue skies in West Virginia. 1-0. Called strike. Count 1-1. It really is a nice ballpark here. It's got some character to it. 1-1 pitch. A little bit low and away. Count 2-1. Between the hills in the background, which is what West Virginia is really known for, to be completely honest. It's their number 1 natural landmark is the rolling hills of West Virginia. And you have the warehouse in right field, another building out in left field. The brick 2-1 pitch, swinging a high pop-up now over toward right field once again. And again, it's Braxton Lee who moves in and makes the catch shoulder high for the second out. 2 up, or 3 up and 2 down, I guess you could say. There was a base hit in between the 2 outs. And here comes Anthony Seymour, who will dig in from the left side. Runner on first base and 2 outs for Charleston. The Blue Crabs are off to another fast start, have a 4-0 lead. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have still lost only 1 series this year. They could win today, they'd clinch yet another series win. As the first pitch is a called strike now on Seymour, who is the leadoff hitter. Oh, 1 pitch. That's a little inside. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. From first base, it's Tyler Blum. He's bookended by a pair of flyouts to right. 1-1 pitch. Swinging a line drive, hard hit foul, first base side. Up onto the concourse level. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Seymour restraps the batting gloves. And digs in. Darrell Thompson through 2 2/3 innings, thrown 33 pitches. 1-2, cut on and tap foul. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, pitch count might have a little bit to do with our trivia question next inning. Remember to put your answers in the YouTube chat if you'd like a shout out. Also throw that in the YouTube chat and we'll be happy to get to it. Always love to hear where people are watching from. One-two pitch, cut on a high pop-up behind home plate. Howe gives chase, and he's going to run out of room. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Tom asks a question in the YouTube chat, and we're going to get to Tom in a moment here after this pitch on Anthony Seymour. Runner goes on the 1-2, swinging a high pop-up. Third base side in foul territory. Crosby over by the dugout. He makes the catch for the final out. Nearly fell down the steps. David Harris was there to make sure he'd be all right, and that ends the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's a 4-0 lead for the Blue Crabs. We'll get to Tom's question in the top of the 4th. We also have our trivia question coming up after this. The Blue Crabs lead by 4. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this in the top of the 4th inning. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
First pitch swinging to Joe DeLuca is bunted foul down the third baseline. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on the righty, Joe DeLuca, in the top of the 4th inning, where the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead. The Blue Crabs have scored in each of the first 3, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in the 3rd inning. As Derek Adams has allowed 4 runs across 3+ innings of work, his ERA up to 6.40 on the year. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, big wave and a miss, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. DeLuca had a good game in game 1 of this series. He was 4 for 4. He had 4 singles, drove in a run. He was also walked. Count 0-2. Here's the pitch. Big wave and a miss. DeLuca down on strikes. And there's 1 away in the top of the 4th inning. It's the 2nd time DeLuca's gone down swinging today. It's the 3rd strikeout, the 4th strikeout actually from Derek Adams. And the toast goes flying. There it goes. I'm not sure. Maybe he'll throw one up to me in the booth here. It's a bit of a long toss for him. And again, the completion percentage isn't that high. First pitch, breaking ball on the inside corner, and the count 0-1 on Braxton Lee. And you want a unique fixture to your ballpark. The Toastman's one, that's for sure. 0-1, swinging a high fly ball, center field, straight away. It's Anfernee Seymour. Takes a few steps over to left center now and makes the catch for the 2nd out. 2 up and 2 down in the top of the 4th inning as Ryan Haug comes to the plate. Now grounded into a double play his first time up, 5-4-3. The Blue Crabs at risk of not scoring a run here in the 4th for the first time in this ball game. Not scoring a run in one of the innings. First pitch is low, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Blue Crabs with 4 runs on 5 hits. 1-0, big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Ryan Haug. Jared Walker 1 for 1. He's also reached on a walk. Wolanski 1 for 2. Harris 1 for 2. Crosby 1 for 2. As the 1-1 pitch is upstairs, count 2-1. 2 through 5 in the batting order. All have hits today. Also the 9-hitter, Michael Baca. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's low and in. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Base paths are empty and 2 outs. Here's the 3-1 offering. Called strike. Ryan Haug was on his way to first. And the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, called him back. And the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes down on the right-hand hitter. The 3-2 pitch, swinging a line drive, 1 hopper, tough ball for Scott Kelly to handle. Throw to first base is way offline. You'd have to imagine that's going to go down as a hit for the 8-hitter Ryan Haug. He has reached base safely yet again. That's 11 consecutive games where he has at least reached base. They're going to call that an error. It's a tough break, to be completely honest. I mean, I guess it's a home field advantage sort of thing there where you get a error called against your fielder. It helps the pitcher, but the first pitch is a breaking ball upstairs. This is a very hard hit ball. A tough one for Scott Kelly to handle. Count 1 ball and no strikes now on Baca. Here's the pitch. Low and in. Count 2 balls and no strikes. And I think, look, there's a difference between what's probably called an error at the major league level and what's an error here in the Atlantic League. There's a little more leeway, I think, here in the Atlantic League than in the MLB. In the MLB, if a fielder doesn't make a play that, could be even a difficult play, he can get an error sometimes. 2-0 pitch, swinging a ground ball over to second. Goris fields, he tosses to first. And that ends the inning. The Blue Crabs strand one at the end of 3.5. They lead at 4-0. We didn't get to your trivia question, so we'll definitely get there in the bottom of the 4th inning. Don't go anywhere. That's coming up right after this.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
Fielder number 7, Angel Beltran.
Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-0 Blue Crabs. The first pitch is a called strike on Engel Beltran. We hear from the crowd, Picante, Picante, Picante. And that's what Engel Beltran's nickname is. The first pitch is dribbled foul. A count, no balls and 1 strike on the lefty. That was the 0-1, so now the count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes on the lefty. 4-0 Blue Crabs. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Here we are on the bottom of the 4th. 0-2 pitch, swinging a high pop-up toward left center field. It's the left fielder Walker who gives way to the center fielder Hibbert, who makes the catch for the first down. The Blue Crabs have really had to do some mixing and matching around the diamond defensively to get everybody in the lineup. We're going to get to our trivia question, though. Don't worry about that. We'll definitely get there right after this. Juan Perez comes to the plate. The Blue Crabs have had to move some guys around with the addition of Joe DeLuca. He is now moved over to first base. And Jared Walker, who was at first, is now in left field. First pitch is low and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. And that allows Ryan Haug, the Blue Crabs catcher, to stay in the lineup. 1-0 pitch to Perez. That's low and away. Count 2 balls and no strikes on the righty, Juan Perez. Well, here is our trivia question. Last night, Mackenzie Mills went 8 innings of work. He allowed just 4 hits. He struck out 5. 2-0 pitch, called strike. How many Blue Crabs pitchers this season have gone 8+ innings in a start? How many Blue Crabs pitchers have gone 8+ innings in a start? And who has gone how many innings? That's a little bit of a bonus. 2-1 pitch, swinging a line drive, shallow center field. Ball dies in shallow center, and it's a base hit for Juan Perez. As the center fielder for the Blue Crabs, Matt Hibbert, had to field that ball on a roll. Runner on first base and 1 out for Nick Longy. Longy 1 for 1 today. first hit of the day for the Dirty Birds. Killer breaking ball at 65 miles an hour, and Longy was way ahead of it. Count, no balls and 1 strike. Thompson gets the sign from his catcher, Haug. Runner on first base, 1 out. Longy with 8 homers. He hits .312 on the year. 0-1 pitch, called strike as Thompson falls to the ground, and the count 0-2. Ryan Haug behind the plate. Nick Longy has an OPS north of 1,000, which is extremely impressive. The 0-2 pitch a little bit away, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2, 3, and 4 hitters in Charleston's lineup all hit .290 or better. Beltre at .294, Perez at .303. The 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball through the left side. It's a base hit. Past the diving reach of Michael Baca. And there are runners on first and second with 1 out. The back-to-back hits for Nick Longy and for the Dirty Birds. And here comes Diego Goris. Goris ended any rally they could have earlier as he grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the second inning. But for now, 2 on and 1 out for the Dirty Birds. Back to our trivia question, though. How many Blue Crabs pitchers? Now a pickoff move to second. They got him. Oh, how about that play? Michael Baca snuck up behind Juan Perez at second, and a perfect throw from Darryl Thompson, and it gets Juan Perez. There are 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, that's another way to end a rally. Perez, in frustration, throws the batting helmet. The pitch, swinging a ground ball. Foul behind home plate. Count, no balls and 1 strike. We're certainly glad you've decided to join us on a Saturday evening. We talked about all the sports in action today, also college World Series Super Regionals. As the 0-1 pitch is low, count 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 away now in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runner on first base. 1-1 cut on and popped up foul first base side. And it especially hurts for Charleston when you've got a guy thrown out and you're trailing 4-0. And it's not even like you're trying to steal and put guys in a better situation, just a little too large of a lead. And it's a base running decision. It's a base running mistake. Really a mental mistake there. 1-2 pitch, wave and a miss from Diego Goris, who goes down swinging. Well, the Dirty Birds had runners on first and second with 1 out. Thompson picks off Perez and strikes out Goris. We're finished with 4 innings of play. It's the Blue Crabs with a 4-0 lead.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
We go to the top of the 5th inning. The Blue Crabs have the top of the order to the plate as Matt Hibbert steps in from the right side. First pitch, big wave and a miss. Count, no balls, and 1 strike on the righty. Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead here in the 5th inning. 0-1 pitch comes inside and hits Hibbert. Hit him in the leg. And there's a runner on first base now and nobody out for the Blue Crabs. There were 4 batters who were hit by a pitch in yesterday's ball game. And Ryan Haug was hit twice. Was the 17th and 18th times he's been hit by pitches this season. And the first pitch to Michael Wolanski is upstairs. Count 1 ball and no strikes now on the right-handed hitter. He'll be followed by Jared Walker. Wolanski started the scoring today on a solo shot. The 1-0 pitch, swinging a ground ball to short, could be 2. Bertram to second for 1, on to first, another double play. It's the second time today that the Dirty Birds defense has turned 2. And there are 2 away now in the 5th inning. A 6-4-3 double play following the hit by pitch from Matt Hibbert. And here comes Jared Walker, who steps in from the left side with the base paths empty. First pitch called strike on Jared Walker. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Base paths are empty with 2 away. The Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead over Charleston. 0-1. A little bit away. It was a close pitch. The fans here in Charleston don't like the call. 1 fan chants, bring back the robo-umps. 1-1 offering. It's low in the dirt. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. And I think that a lot of players were initially frustrated with the robo-umps, the automated ball strike system that the Atlantic League installed for a few years. But I think overall it probably had a positive impact. 2-1 pitch, swinging a high pop-up foul, third base side. Also ended a lot of the arguing with umpires, especially for balls and strikes. I can't complain with an umpire when he's just relaying the information. He's just the messenger at that point. 2-2 pitch to Walker. It's low in the dirt. And the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes on the lefty. Base paths empty, 2 outs. Blue Crabs have a healthy 4-0 lead. 3-2 pitch, swinging a dribbler foul, first base side. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jared Walker doubled to right center. He drove in a run. His last time up, as Baca came around and scored from second base on the double. Would later come around to score on an RBI double from David Harris. 3-2 pitch, check swing, it's low. And he held up. The first base umpire, Bob Wayford, surprised that they even signaled down to him to confirm. But it's ball 4, and there's a runner on first base with 2 outs.
David Harris.
Well, David Harris now comes to the plate. Had an RBI double his last time up. 4-0 Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland would like to add on to that lead with Harris at the plate. David Harris hitting .310 this year. And the one word to use for Harris just prior to that injury where he was held out for 10 days, and since has been consistency. This one, swinging a line drive, right center field. It's going to drop for extra bases. Harris is waved around first into second. Walker waved around third. A throw to the plate's in time. Jared Walker was trying to score all the way from first base. A terrific relay throw from Juan Perez to Diego Goris. The second baseman threw a strike to the plate, and Jared Walker was out by a very significant margin. Last night he was called out on a play where he was really safe at the plate. This time around there's no question he was clearly out of the plate as the Blue Crabs tried to steal a run here on the top of the fifth. At the end of 4.5 innings of play, we're halfway done at Appalachian Power Park, and the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. First pitch is a called strike on Scott Bertram. As he showed bunt, he missed, and it was also a strike nonetheless. Count 0-1 on the third baseman Bertram. A 4-0 game in the bottom of the fifth inning. This one swung on, hit high in the air, third base side toward left field, but it tails foul on top of one of the food vendors down that third base side. One of the mobile concession stands. Let's get back to our trivia question. We're going to give a few shout outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. We don't have any answers yet, but we're going to give the question again in case you missed it the first time around. 0-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back. Question is, how many times have Blue Crabs pitchers gone 8 or more innings in a start this season? How many times have Blue Crabs pitchers gone 8 or more innings in a start this season? 0-2 pitch, that's low. Count 1 or 2. You get a little bit of bonus points if you say which pitchers went 8+ innings. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Bertram goes down swinging. And there's one away in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Now batting your designated hitter, number 44.
Here comes Jovan Gonzalez. Well, let's give a few shout outs. So we have Tom Hinman, who says that he's watching from La Plata, Maryland. First pitch is away in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Brandon Haug watching from Roner Park, I should say, California. 1-0 pitch from Daryl Thompson. Called strike in the count, 1-1 strike. Well, Tom Himminson says, which is right, CDB or CWV? And it's a great question. 1-1 pitch. And the 1-1 is swung on and missed. That's with reference to the Charleston Dirty Birds and their abbreviation. It is in time. Oh, what a relay throw from the center fielder, Matt Hibbert, who threw a strike over to second base. And it's Michael Wolanski who tags him out. Oh, what a terrific play. It looked to be easy extra bases, but Tyler Blum thrown out going to second on a line drive into left center. Well, meanwhile, it's Gonzalez who goes from first to third. So there's a runner on third base with 2 outs. And that brings up Scott Kelly, I beg your pardon. First pitch is close, but a little bit away for ball 1 on Kelly. It was 0 for 1 today, batting .219 on the season. 1-0, swinging a high chopper foul, third base side. The count, 1-1 strike. Runner on third base and 2 outs. 4-0 Blue Crabs lead over Charleston. I was talking about the character to the ballpark as well, and you can't see it from everywhere in the ballpark. You can see it from the vast majority of spots here. That Capitol building in foul territory down the right field line is visible. It's one of the nice touches they've got in this ballpark is the 1-1 pitch is low and away. Count 2-1 strike. When you're in the state capital, Charleston, West Virginia has just under 50,000 people. It's nice to have the state capital play a part in this ballpark, and having it right there does. 2-1 pitch, swinging a line drive to left field. It bounces in front of Jared Walker, and it scores a run as Gonzalez comes in and scores from third. It's now a 4-1 ball game as Scott Kelly drives in a run. There's a runner on first base with 2 outs. RBI single from the hitting coach, Scott Kelly, who bats 9th in this lineup. Gonzalez comes in and scores from third. As Anthony Seymour comes to the plate, back to the top of the order for Charleston. 3 hits in the inning, 3 consecutive hits. But Daryl Thompson was bailed out, a terrific throw from center field. As Blum was thrown out trying to go to second. First pitch swinging from Seymour. It's a high pop-up, third base side in foul territory. Gets about 6 rows into the seats. Everyone had given chase, though. Walker from left, Crosby from third, and Baca from short were all over at the wall, hoping that one might stay fair. Well, for now, it's Scott Kelly from first base as Anthony Seymour stands in from the left side. With 2 away in the bottom of the 5th inning, here's the pitch. That's low, count 1-1 strike now on the lefty Seymour. Engel Beltre on deck, runner goes, swinging a line drive up the middle, it's a base hit. Kelly goes from first to third, and there are runners on the corners with 2 outs. As Picante plays over the system here in Appalachian Power Park. It's Engel Beltre to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And Daryl Thompson has found himself in trouble after surrendering 4 consecutive hits. The Blue Crabs still have a 4-1 lead, but a tying runner comes to the plate with Engel Beltre up. Runner goes in the first pitch. It's a breaking ball for a called strike, and that puts 2 in scoring position now as Scott Kelly, or I beg your pardon, that's Anthony Seymour, who steals second without a throw. Kelly from third, Seymour from second. A single from Beltre would get Charleston back within a run. 0-1, cut on and foul back, count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 on for Charleston. Blue Crabs lead by 3. Beltre 0 for 2. 0-2 offering. Breaking ball, line drive foul. Third base side. Count remains 0-2. Daryl Thompson has thrown 74 pitches. And at that rate, you're looking at over the course of 100 pitches, probably about 7 innings. Oh, 2 offering upcoming. This one swinging a line drive, foul, first base side, a dive from the first baseman Joe DeLuca, but it's out of his reach. It seems as though Beltre has broken his bat, or at least partially, so he'll come to the plate with 2 outs. Two on and 2 out with 2 strikes in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 in already for Charleston. And an opportunity to drive in a pair more with Beltre at the plate. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, swing a high fly ball, right field rather deep, sends Braxton Lee back to the warning track at the wall, and he makes the catch. Only maybe 5 feet in front of the foul pole down the right field line. Well, Beltre gave that ball a ride, but it ends up in the glove of Braxton Lee to end the inning. Thompson allows 1, but the Blue Crabs still lead this one 4-1 at the end of 5. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
If you like Little Caesars pizza.
This is Ian Yetzko, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, the first pitch misses low to Alex Crosby to start things in the top of the 6th inning. 1-0, swinging a high fly ball, left center field. It's the left fielder, Engel Beltre, who makes the catch for the first out. And there's one away as he drifted over toward left center field. Blue Crabs have a 4-1 lead over Charleston. We're glad you've decided to join us.
Joe DeLuca.
And we do have to take care of some shout-out business as Tom Hinman says that he got in trouble. he said he wasn't watching with his lovely girlfriend, Carol Lucky. Well, Carol, a shout out to you as well. And Tom, let's see if we can answer the trivia question, though. We'll get back to that in a moment. First pitch is upstairs and outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on DeLuca. The trivia question day, how many times have Blue Crabs pitchers gone 8+ innings this season? We'll give you a bit of a hint. Last night, Mackenzie Mills went 8 innings. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Oh my, it appears that Tyler Blum has been hit by a foul ball in a tough spot. The training staff going to go out and check on him. I'm not sure there's much they can do. Just a bit of a waiting game here for Blum. 4-1 Blue Crabs in the top of the 6th. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are 33-11. They are looking for their 3rd consecutive win. As they've won 7 of their last 8 games. This would be the 5th winning streak of 3+ games for the Blue Crabs. Looks like Blum's ready to go. As the fans give him a bit of a standing ovation. Maybe not a standing ovation, a sitting ovation. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Joe DeLuca. With the base paths empty and 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive, fair ball down the 3rd base line, past the leaping glove of Scott Kelly. DeLuca rounds first. He's headed into second with a stand-up double. And there's a runner on second base with 1 out. The Blue Crabs have a man in scoring position here in the 6th.
Now batting right fielder number 13.
Well, Derek Adams had really seemed to settle down after a tough first 3 innings. Ran into a little bit of a jam in the 5th inning, but all things considered, he'd not allowed a run since the top of the 3rd. Here we are on the top of the 6th, and was a screaming 1-out double down the 3rd base line. First pitch is away, just missed off the outside corner to Braxton Lee, the lefty. A lefty-lefty matchup with Adams and Lee. 1-0 pitch, a little bit in. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0 pitch. Count 2 balls and 1 strike as that one just clips the outer edge. Derek Adams has been very effective staying away from Lee here. Just painting the outside corner. 2-1 pitch, that's low. Now the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Runner on second base with 1 out. And now Braxton Lee ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Adams set. Here's the 3-1. Swinging a line drive, center field, straight away. Seymour only has to move a couple of steps to his left and makes the catch for the 2nd out. He fires into 3rd. No way that Joe DeLuca is going to be going anywhere. So there are 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning.
Now batting catcher number 2, Ryan Haug.
Here comes Ryan Haug. 0 for 2 today. His batting average at one point, only about a couple of weeks ago, was north of 400. That occurred during the series against York. It's now down at 333. Still a very strong number for a catcher like Haug. Joe DeLuca now has the best batting average on the team at 339. There are 4 batters in the Southern Maryland order who hit 300 or higher. As the first pitch is low and the count 1 ball and no strikes on the catcher. Those batters hit 4, 5, 6, and 8. The 7-hitter Lee hitting 280. Also a respectable number. 1-0 pitch. That's way upstairs. Count 2 balls and no strikes on Ryan Haug. Blue Crabs 4 runs on 7 hits. Charleston 1 run on 8 hits. A testament to Darrell Thompson's ability to work out of some jams. Count 2 balls and no strikes on Ryan Haug with the runner on second and 2 out. Here's the pitch, low and in. 3-run lead for the Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland with 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. And Charleston picked up their first run of the game in the bottom of the 5th. Thompson has thrown 76 pitches over 5 innings. For Adams, 92 pitches over 5 2/3. 3-0 pitch, wave and a miss. Had a pitch low in the dirt. The count 3 balls and 1 strike on Ryan Haug. And all batters are going to go through streaks and slumps. And it's a bit of a lull period for Ryan Haug, but he's always getting on base between drawing walks and getting hit by pitches. He's finding a way to get on. 3-1 pitch upstairs. That's ball 4, and yet again, it's a walk issue to Ryan Haug. Ryan Haug, I mentioned his batting average down at .333, but his on-base percentage is still an outstanding .515. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. On the right-handed hitter, Michael Baca. The first pitch, not close, but a little bit away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Haug from first, DeLuca from second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing a high pop-up, shallow left center field. It's the center fielder this time, Anthony Seymour, who calls off the left fielder Beltre and makes the catch for the final out in the top of the 6th inning. Blue Crabs have a 4-1 lead over Charleston. We go to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Glenville State University.
Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-1 Blue Crabs as Juan Perez comes to the plate. 3, 4, and 5 in the order for the Charleston Dirty Birds. Still do not have any answers to our trivia question. Looking for our first one as the first pitch is away for ball 1. Count 1 ball and no strikes. We'll reiterate the trivia question once more and give you an answer in the bottom of the 7th inning. So give some people some more time. The 1-0 pitch, big wave and a miss. The count 1 ball and 1 strike now on the righty Perez. 1-1, that's a called strike. Count 1 and 2. Perez, Longy, and Goris to the plate. They're combined 3 for 6 today. 7, 8, and 9 all is really driving the lineup though. 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball, third base side. Oh, and it's through the hole. Looked like Crosby may have had a play on that ball. Would have been really difficult for Baca, but it goes through the hole on the left side either way. And there's a runner on first base to get things started in the bottom of the 6th inning.
First baseman, number 34.
Daryl Thompson allowed 4 hits in the bottom of the 5th inning. Resulted in a single run for Charleston. Also allowed 2 hits in the 4th. So 7 hits across the last 2+ innings of work. There is some action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. First pitch, that's away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch count not the issue for Daryl Thompson. It really never is because he can throw as many pitches as he wants to throw. Threw 122 earlier this year. Mitch Lamson threw 131. 1-0 pitch, that's away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. So far, Thompson has gone 5 innings. Allowed 1 run, he struck out 2. He's walked none and allowed 9 hits. 2-0. Big wave and a miss at a breaking ball at 75. 2 balls, 1 strike on the righty with a runner on first base. Longy hitting .323, also has 8 home runs. 2-1, called strike at the knees. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Toastman has been rather quiet for the last few innings. Not quite as many chants. Runner on first base with nobody out. Here's the 2-2. Ooh, very close, just off the outside edge. And the count 3-2. Daryl Thompson smiles back at the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell. Thompson threw off the 85-mile-an-hour fastball with strike 3. Thompson set. Here's the 3-2. Runner goes, swinging a line drive into shallow center field. It's a base hit. Matt Hibbert has no option but to throw into second base. That's where Wolanski cuts things off. The runners on the corners and nobody out for the Charleston Dirty Birds. And manager Stan Clyburn on his way to the mound. It's unclear if he's going to take out Thompson or this is just for a meeting. Has not signaled down to the bullpen yet. You never know because Daryl Thompson's the pitching coach. Normally when the Blue Crabs want a conversation with the pitcher, you just go to the pitching coach, but can't really have a conversation with yourself all that effectively. So looks like Stan Clyburn's going to leave Thompson in the ballgame. There is some action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Unclear who that is. It might be Patrick Baker who's warming up.
Second baseman, number 5, Diego Gorich.
As Diego Gorich comes to the plate, the 10th hit of the day for Charleston. And they got the Go Diego Go chant starting. Runners on first and third, nobody out for the Blue Crabs. First pitch, big wave, a foul tip into the mid of Haug in the count, 0-1. And Diego Goris having a tough time keeping that batting helmet on his head. Daryl Thompson set. He gets a sign from the catcher, Haug. Who sets up a little bit outside pitch, swing a high pop-up, foul territory. Haug over toward the screen, tries to bend over the railing but runs out of room, can't quite get there. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. The bottom of the 6th inning with nobody out. 4-1 Blue Crabs, but Charleston threatening. 2 on with no out. Thompson has thrown 88 pitches through 5 innings. Faced a lot more adversity in the 4th and 5th, though. This one swinging a line drive, left center field. It's a base hit. 1 run comes around and scores. It's Juan Perez who makes this a 4-2 ball game as Diego Goris drives him in. It's Longy from second, it's Goris from first. It's now a 4-2 ball game. And manager Stan Clyburn makes the call to the bullpen. The Blue Crabs will have a new pitcher coming in. Thompson goes 5 innings of work. He allows 2 runs and is responsible for the both base runners on right now. We go to the bottom. We stay in the bottom of the 6th. We'll go to break. When we come back, runners on first and second with nobody out. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Invincible.
This is Michael Baca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
New pitcher of the ball game for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. In the bottom of the 6th inning, 1 run in already with runners on first and second with no outs. Scott Burcham squares around and bunts foul on the first pitch. from the right-handed pitcher, Patrick Baker. This is a good move from Stan Clyburn for a couple of reasons. The first of which is that Baker's had a terrific year so far. Has a 1 ERA, but the other reason is the real change in velocity that these Charleston hitters will be facing. Darrell Thompson was throwing 83 to 86 or so tonight. They're going to go in and face 97. Bertram, a good bunt to the third base side, fielded by Crosby. The throw's offline. Mike Wolanski couldn't keep his right foot on first base, and the bases are loaded now with nobody out. Well, it was a good bunt from Bertram. Crosby rushed the throw a little bit, and Wolanski couldn't keep his right foot on first base. Joe DeLuca had to play in because of the bunt. And the bases are loaded now with nobody out. And here comes Yovan Gonzalez. It doesn't get any easier here for Patrick Baker. Bases are loaded, no out, tying run on second base. And Gonzalez is a batting average of .304 on the year. Throwing error credited to Alex Crosby. As the first pitch is a little bit inside, 95 on the fastball from Baker. .1-0 pitch. That's a called strike at 96. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Bases loaded for Charleston. They trail by 2. This one swinging a ground ball toward the middle. Fielded by Wolanski to flip to second in time, but 1 run will score. It's Nick Longy who comes in from third base. It makes this a 4-3 ball game, but a terrific play over at second base by Michael Wolanski, who fielded on the backhand and tossed to second to get the out. Meanwhile, Diego Goris to third. And the batter, Yovan Gonzalez to first. It was Scott Bertram who was thrown out at second base as part of the fielder's choice. Blue Crabs 4, Charleston 3. Runners on the corners and 1 out. First pitch to Tyler Blum comes upstairs, and meanwhile Yovan Gonzalez trots over to second as that ball nearly hit Tyler Blum. Go-ahead run in scoring position for Charleston. 4-3 Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 6th inning. This is the biggest inning for the Dirty Birds in either Game 1 or Game 2 for that matter. Defense plays straight away on Tyler Blum. Longy from third, Gonzalez from second with 2 outs. 4-3 Blue Crabs. Here's the pitch, swinging a foul ball first base side. Count 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. The first pitch ran way up and in on Tyler Blum. That was ball 1. The scoreboard indicates it's 2-1. Our umpire's saying, no, it's 1-1. 96 comes up and in, and that hits Tyler Blum. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. And the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, saying go to first base. And now the manager, Stan Clyburn, comes out to the mound along with the manager for the Charleston Dirty Birds, Billy Horn. And I think they're all going to have a discussion as to what the protocol is going to be. That was 96-mile-an-hour heat that hit Blum in the upper arm. And we may have just seen warnings given out. Horn's not happy. And Stan Clyburn has his arms out as if to say, well, that's not fair either. All 3 umpires are now converging as they're having a conversation trying to figure out what the right protocol is. I didn't see the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, give out warnings, but he was having a discussion with Tyler Blum, who's been awarded first base. And a 4-3 ball game. Bases are loaded with one out, and we're still trying to figure out this mess of sorts with regard to what the ruling is going to be on these hit batsmen from here on out. Stan Clyburn goes back to the dugout. Billy Horn having a conversation, and a tense one at that, with Stan Clyburn as he heads back over to third base. That's where he coaches third base.
Now batting third baseman.
Well, it's not fun when you've got 96 coming right at you. It's Scott Kelly, the hitting coach, who comes to the plate. It's Goris from third, Gonzalez from second, Blum from first, Blue Crabs 4, and the Charleston Dirty Birds 3. Bottom of the sixth inning. Bases loaded and one out. First pitch, fastball runs upstairs and over the head of Scott Kelly, and the fans are chanting now. And now the manager, Stan Clyburn, is going to come out to have a chat with Patrick Baker. I don't think anybody's coming out of the ball game here. 94 miles an hour that last fastball, and Baker has historically had some control issues, but so far this season hasn't had quite as many. The bases are loaded with one out. Count, 1 ball and no strikes on Scott Kelly as that fastball ran up and over his head. Well, after Stan Clyburn had his conversation with his pitcher, Patrick Baker, looks like we're ready to play. And now Matt Latos having a conversation with Billy Horn. Billy Horn getting into it with a few different members of the Blue Crabs personnel. Well, this one comes inside, and that hits Scott Kelly. Oh, we've got, unfortunately, Beers being thrown on the field. One run's going to come in and score. It's a 4-4 game. And these fans here in West Virginia getting a little out of control. And they're throwing beer on the field. This is not a good sign, as we're trying to figure out who threw that onto the field. The game is now tied. It's 4-4 after Scott Kelly was hit by the pitch. And they're all pointing to who threw the beer on the field so the person can get removed from this ball game. We've got a stoppage in play. Well, there's no room for that. Everybody on the Blue Crabs dugout trying to get him out, and Billy Horn, the manager for the Dirty Birds, also pointing towards him to get him out of the game. As both teams, Yovan Gonzalez, who's over at third base, pointing towards him because saying he needs to be thrown out of the game. Matt Lato saying to Yovan Gonzalez, head back over to third base. That's where you are right now. We're going to get this figured out ourselves. And it looks like the fans responsible have been thrown out of the game, and everybody happy that that is the case. There's no room for that. You can't be throwing objects onto the field. Well, either way, this inning's gotten out of hand for the Blue Crabs. Patrick Baker's now hit 2 batters. He nearly hit Scott Kelly on the pitch prior. So the bases are loaded for Charleston. And this seems to be a situation for Patrick Baker where he just has lost control. There's obviously no reason that Baker would be throwing at a batter in this circumstance with the bases loaded and one out. So a 4-4 game. All runs that have come home already have been charged to Darryl Thompson. But in this 4-4 ball game, we're getting everything sorted out. Now Billy Horn is having a discussion with the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell. He may want something done about Patrick Baker being in this ball game. You do have to wonder how much longer the leash is. And Kirk Powell now hearing it from Angel Beltre, who goes by Picante. And it is Anthony Seymour who will come to the plate. There's a force at every base.
Now batting center fielder number 6, Anthony Seymour.
Anthony Seymour comes to the plate. Well, for Patrick Baker, initially he got a fielder's choice, but since then he's hit 2 batters, same spot, the upper arm. First pitch, up and away on Anthony Seymour, and it seems like when he was throwing some warm-up pitches during that long delay, he was missing in that same spot, up and away toward the righty batter's box. 93 on the fastball. That pitch up and away as well. Same spot, and the count 2 balls and no strikes now on Anthony Seymour in a 4-4 ball game. 3 runs in already for Charleston. The bases are loaded with 1 out. 2-0 pitch. That's up and away. 3 balls and no strikes, and it seems as though Baker having a lot of trouble with his control. Last few pitches, the velocity's been down. 93, 94, he's usually at 96, and he's missed wildly outside. 3-0 pitch. That's inside, it's ball 4. He's walked in a run. It's 5-4 Charleston. The Dirty Birds have scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. And it looks like Matt Latos is signaling down to Stan Clyburn that the new pitcher is probably ready. It's Dalton Geeky who's warming up in the bullpen for the Blue Crabs. He's throwing pretty hard. I'm not sure if Baker's going to throw the first pitch of this at bat or not. I'm not sure Geeky's ready, though. He is throwing 100%. First pitch, away again from Baker, and some nights it's just not your night. For Patrick Baker, the control so far, that seems to be the issue. A 4-pitch walk issued moments ago to Anthony Seymour, and the 1-0 pitch again, way up and away, and he's taking something off it too, just 92 on that fastball. Count 2 balls and no strikes now on Angel Beltre. And Patrick Baker, Ryan Haug, and the home plate umpire Kirk Powell all having a conversation. Now a couple of balls flying in. I'm not quite sure from where. This crowd is really rowdy here in West Virginia. Yelling at Patrick Baker. 2-0 pitch. That's a called strike. And a sarcastic cheer from the crowd here, which is really, this is about as rowdy as I've seen a crowd in the Atlantic League all year in a packed house at Appalachian Power Park. 2-1, fastball cut on and missed from Angel Beltre. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 5-4 Charleston in the bottom of the 6th. 2-2 offering. Swinging a ground ball, second base side. Wolanski turns and throws a second for one. That's his only play. Another run's going to come home and score. It's 6-4 Charleston. A fielder's choice as Michael Wolanski tossed to shortstop Michael Baca for the lead out at second as Juan Perez comes to the plate. Second base is open. I'm not sure if Stan Clyburn's going to keep Patrick Baker in this ball game. He's made no motion to take him out yet. Welcome back to Charleston, West Virginia. We apologize for some delays and some technical difficulties. We're now back up and running here in the top of the 7th inning. 6-4 Charleston with one out after Matt Hibbert went down on strikes. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Wolanski. This one swinging a high pop-up, shallow center field. It's the center fielder, Anthony Seymour, who moves in and makes the catch for the second out. And here comes Jared Walker, who comes to the plate with nobody on and 2 outs. The Blue Crabs trailing by 2. They had a 4-0 lead going into the 5th inning. 1 run in the 5th for Charleston, 5 runs in the 6th. First pitch called strike. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on Walker. Count 0-1. Base paths empty, 2 outs for Jared Walker. Here's the 0-1. That's low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike, or 1 ball and 2 strikes, I should say. Oh, I had it right the first time. 1-1. 6-4 Charleston. Dirty Birds got hits off of Darrell Thompson. A 1-1 pitch, breaking ball called strike on Walker, count 1-2. And then managed to score a number of additional runs off of walks and hit batsmen from Patrick Baker. Baker did not allow a hit. He did hit 2 batters. He also walked 1. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Walker. Pitch, that runs inside. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Walker. Two and 2 with 2 outs, a 2-run lead for Charleston. Base paths are empty. Dalton Geeky continues to warm in the Blue Crabs bullpen. 2-2, that's low and in. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the count full on Jared Walker. Also during our technical difficulties, a new pitcher entered. It's Francisco Correa. Three-two pitch upcoming on Jared Walker. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Walker can't believe it. He thinks it was outside. He wants to say something to the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell. But based on some previous discussions the Blue Crabs have had with the umpire and doesn't want to risk anything else, that ends the top of the 7th inning. Here on a Saturday night in West Virginia, the Charleston Dirty Birds have a 2-run lead. Stick with us.
All right, Toastman, things are getting a little tense in here, so I think we all need to stand.
We are back in the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher on the mound. It's Dalton Geeky for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. They trail 6-4. First pitch was a called strike. And now the 0-1 pitch is away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. 6-4 Charleston in front of a rowdy crowd this evening. Also a quite sizable crowd. Imagine they've got a few thousand in the stands. 2-1, swinging a line drive. It's right at the left fielder. Jared Walker, who makes the catch and tosses in. There's 1 away. Dalton Geeky so far this year has had a bit of a tough year. A 5.74 ERA comes after a 3.23 ERA that he had last season. And it's Diego Goris who enters the game. First pitch little bit away for ball one. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Goris. After Nick Longy lines out to left. We'll give you the final lines on Darrell Thompson and Patrick Baker. 1-0 pitch, swinging a chopper over toward third. Crosby Fields, throw the first is offline. It's gathered by DeLuca, who tags out Diego Goris, and there are 2 outs.
Now batting shortstop, number 13, Scott Burcham.
That brings up Scott Burcham. So final lines on Thompson: 5 innings, 4 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks against Darrell Thompson. For Patrick Baker, pitched 1 inning, allowed 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1. That's the only thing he's credited with aside from the 2-hit batsman. The first pitch is low for ball 1. According to his whip, he only allowed 1 walk or hit, but he did also hit the 2 batters. 1-0 cut on and fouled off. First base side going to get to the seats. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Scott Burcham pointing over towards something in the first base side to the umpires. Well, here in Charleston, the bullpen setup, it's not too different from the way it is in Southern Maryland. But the pitcher's mound out in the bullpen is significantly closer to the foul line. 1-1 pitch, swung on and foul tip into the catcher's mitt. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now. 6-4. Charleston leads over the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 7th inning. 94 on the heater that time from Geeky. 1-1, or 1-2 I should say. That's up and away. Count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive, shallow center field. It's a base hit. Matt Hibbert plays it on a bounce, and Scott Burcham has his first hit of the ball game. Runner on first base with 2 outs.
Now batting your designated hitter, number 44, Yovan Gonzalez.
Yovan Gonzalez comes to the plate. A runner on first base. That was Scott Burcham. A 5-run inning in the 6th for the Dirty Birds. They've taken a 6-4 lead. 6 runs on 12 hits. First pitch is away for ball 1, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Well, the first 4 innings for Darrell Thompson were terrific. Did not allow a run over the first 4, allowed 1 over the course of the first 5 innings. And you could see the bats were starting to click for Charleston. Ultimately allowed 4 runs on 11 hits. 1-0 pitch, that's upstairs. Count 2 balls and no strikes. And meanwhile, Patrick Baker entered the game. They couldn't hit Baker, but a lot of control issues as Dalton Geeky steps off and tosses over to check on the runner on first base, Burcham. Charleston batted around back in the 6th. 10 batters came to the plate, in fact. 2-0, called strike, count 2 balls and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs are going to need some offense in the 8th or 9th innings. After the Blue Crabs have won back-to-back games, find themselves in trouble here in the bottom of the 7th inning, down by 2. 2-1 pitch, swing a ground ball over to second. Wolanski gathers and tosses to first for the final out. That ends the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Crabs still trail by 2. They've got some work to do at the plate. When we come back, it's David Harris and 4, 5, and 6 in the Southern Maryland order coming to the plate. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing a line drive, shallow center field. It's a base hit. Matt Hammer plays it out of bounds, and Scott Bertram has his first hit of the ball game. Runner on first base with 2 outs. Jovan Gonzalez comes to the plate. Runner on first base. This is Scott Bertram. 5-run inning in the 6th for the Dirty Birds. They've taken a 6-4 lead, 6 runs on 12 hits. First pitch is away for ball 1. The count is 1 and no strikes. First 4 innings for Daryl Thompson were terrific. Did not allow a run over the first 4 over the course of the first 5 innings. And you can see the bats were starting to click for Charleston. Allowed 4 runs on 11 hits. 1-0 pitch, that's upstairs. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And meanwhile, Patrick Baker entered the game. Couldn't hit Baker, but a lot of control issues as Dalton Kiki steps off and tosses over to check on the runner on first base, Bertram. Charleston batted around back in the 6th. 10 batters came to the plate, in fact. 2-0, called strike. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs are going to need some offense in the 8th or 9th innings. After the Blue Crabs have won back-to-back games. Find themselves. Well, the first pitch to David Harris is a called strike. Count no balls and 1 strike on the righty Harris. Top of the 8th inning. 6-4 lead for Charleston. First pitch, big wave and a miss from David Harris. The count 0-2. We're glad you decided to join us tonight. Base paths are empty. Here's the 0-2 offering to Harris. Swinging a line drive, right field. This one back in front of the warning track, and Juan Perez is there to make the catch in front of the University of Charleston sign. And there's 1 away in the top of the 8th.
Now batting third base with number 15.
That brings up Alex Crosby. Crosby to be followed by DeLuca with 1 out and nobody on in the top of the 8th inning. Blue Crabs have not scored since the top of the 3rd when they added 2 and led this game 4-0. Since then, the Charleston bats have come alive. Here's the pitch, way up and in. Count 1 ball and no strikes on a 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball that was headed right for Crosby's head. Managed to duck out of the way of it. One ball and no strikes. The pitch, big swing and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. A healthy cut from Alex Crosby. It was 1 for 3 in today's ball game. Kevin Segrist enters, has a 1.69 ERA. 1-1, a little bit low. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. I was watching some super regional baseball earlier today before we got to the field. I hadn't noticed it when I broadcasted college baseball quite as much. The strike zone across college baseball significantly larger than that here in the Atlantic League and professional baseball. 2-1 pitch, swung on and fouled off, concourse level, and the count 2-2. I did not notice it as much when I was calling, but when I watched on TV today, I was surprised with just how large the strike zone is across college baseball. Solid 3-4 inches on each side of the plate. 2-2 pitch, that's low. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Base paths are empty with 1 out. 6-4. Charleston leads over Southern Maryland. 3-2, swinging a high pop-up. Left side, it's the shortstop, Burcham. Out into the left field grass and makes the catch. Head high for the second out. 2 up and 2 down from the setup man, Kevin Segrist. And the Blue Crabs now find themselves in trouble, down by 2, down to their final out in the 8th. And currently, 7, 8, and 9 would be due up in the 9th. So it would be Lee, Haug, and Baca. At this point, it seems unlikely the Blue Crabs would pinch hit anybody for those 3. First pitch to DeLuca. Big swing and a miss. Count 0-1. DeLuca 1 for 3 today. Drove a single to the left side his last time up after striking out in his first 2 at-bats. 0-1 pitch. Called strike, count 0-2. Base paths are empty with 2 outs. Charleston leads by 2. DeLuca down on the count, 0-2. Segrist, the lefty, the pitch. Oh, called strike 3 on a pitch that was well low. And DeLuca lets him know that pitch was low and out of the zone. It was well below the knees, but it's called strike 3 nonetheless. That ends the top of the 8th inning. The Charleston Dirty Birds with a 2-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Dalton Geekie back out on the mound. There is a little bit of action in the Blue Crabs bullpen as Nick Wells was warming up. First pitch, called strike on Tyler Blum on the inside corner. Count 0-1. Dario Polanco also warming up for the Blue Crabs. This one, a check swing pop-up in the infield. Oh, Joe DeLuca over, deflects off of his glove as he can't quite get there. Ryan Haug was also there, probably had an easier play on that ball. I'm not sure if that will be ruled an error or not. I think probably not. Base paths empty, count 0-2 now on Blum. He's got new life. Geeky the pitch. Swing a line drive. Past the outstretched reach of DeLuca down the line toward the bullpen. Braxton Lee picks it up. He says the ball is unplayable. And they're going to try to see what the situation is down that right field line. It's got stuck underneath the tarp. That will be a ground rule double, I believe. And Geeky was alerting the umpires of the situation.
Now batting for your Dirty Birds, third baseman number 2, Scott Kelly.
The third base umpire not happy with Michael Baca. They're having a conversation as Baca was questioning the call. Runner on second base, there's nobody out. As Scott Kelly comes to the plate, he bats from the right side. First pitch, bunts to the third base side, giving a tough play, barehanded by Crosby. Throw to first is a good one, and it's in time to get Kelly. Runner on third base now with one out.
Now batting center fielder number 6, Anthony Seymour.
And Anthony Seymour comes to the plate. One out and a runner on third base. The infield is in for Southern Maryland. Zach Collier is in the Blue Crabs dugout. We haven't seen him in a couple of days. Did not play at all in the Lexington series or in games 1 or 2 of this series. First pitch swinging now from Seymour. High fly ball toward left. Makes the catch. Walker, a strong throw to the plate. Gets away briefly from Haug, but staying at third base now, Tyler Blum. So Blum doubled down the first baseline. And a fly out from Anthony Seymour. A nice throw from Jared Walker. Maybe not quite as great of a throw as you'd see from someone like Braxton Lee, but a strong throw nonetheless. And now, meeting at the mound, manager Stan Clyburn might be making the call to the bullpen. And that will do it. Dalton Geeky's evening is over. It's Dario Polanco who enters the game with 2 outs in the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs trail by 2, trying to keep it right there. We'll step aside briefly. When we come back, there's a pitching change from Appalachian Power Park. Stick with us. Runner on third base, Dario Polanco has entered the ball game for the Blue Crabs. First pitch to the second batter in the order, Engel Beltre. A bunt, but he missed. It was a breaking ball. I think it went for a strike nonetheless. It is an 0-1 count. Whether or not they said that Beltre went around on the bunt attempt, it's unclear. 0-1 pitch. Swinging a high pop-up. Shallow left center field. It's the left fielder who can't find it, Walker, and now he calls everybody off and makes the catch for the final out. Well, that will do it for the bottom of the 8th inning. Dario Polanco comes in, and he quickly records the final out of the season, of the inning, I should say, as he makes his first appearance in more than 2 weeks. He comes in and does his job as the Blue Crabs go to the top of the 9th. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Blue Crabs trailing by 2. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Last licks for the Blue Crabs as they send 7, 8, and 9 in the order to the plate. Braxton Lee followed by Ryan Haug and Michael Baca. Jack Sundberg is up in the dugout swinging a bat, so he may be coming in. Zach Collier also the bat in his hand. First pitch is up and away for ball 1. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Braxton Lee. It's Tyler Wilson who's entered the game. Wilson has not surrendered a run yet this season. 1-0. That also misses. Close, just a little bit upstairs. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Wilson has been outstanding this year across 17 innings. He's allowed 6 hits and just 1 unearned run. 6 hits, 5 walks, that's it. 2-0 pitch, very close, but a little bit up and away. Count 3 balls and no strikes now on Braxton Lee. I'll tell you, none of these missed by much at all. The fans not happy with these calls, but a little bit upstairs. 3-0 pitch, that's a called strike. The fans offering a sarcastic applause. Base path's empty. Count 3-1. Blue Crabs down by 2. The pitch to Lee, a swing and a miss. Count 3-2. Lee, a former big leaguer, played 18 at bats, I should say, with the Miami Marlins back in 2018. Was in AAA all of last year. 3-2. Wave and a miss. He goes down on strikes. That ends the first out here on the top of the 9th. Brings up Ryan Haug. Blue Crabs looking to create a rally here in the top of the 9th. Doesn't get much more difficult than this against Tyler Wilson, though, who's been outstanding. Has not surrendered a run yet this year. Only 11 base runners at that. First pitch called strike. 1 out. Top of the 9th inning. The Blue Crabs now trailing 6-4. A big 5-run inning in the 6th for Charleston. 0-1 pitch. Swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Count 0-2. Ryan Haug, the Blue Crabs catcher, is falling behind in the count. The Blue Crabs had a lot of hits early, but since then their bats have been very quiet since around the 3rd inning. So the Blue Crabs last scored. 0-2, breaking ball away, count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 9th inning, the Blue Crabs need 2 runs to tie. One, two, wave and a miss, strike 3. Now goes down swinging, and there are 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Appalachian Power Park on their feet. As I guess the toast man is throwing out toast again. With 2 outs in the 9th. As Zach Collier comes to the plate in place of Michael Baca. Well, Baca was out for 3 games against Lexington. Did not play in the doubleheader, did not play in game 1, and was out for games 1 and 2 of game 1 of this series. Did not start here in game 2, but he makes an appearance with 2 outs in the 9th. The first pitch called strike on Collier, the count 0-1. Jack Sundberg also swinging a bat, but it's Matt Hibbert who stands on deck. First pitch, swinging a high fly ball, right field, playable for the right fielder, Juan Perez, who is there and makes the catch for the final out. Well, Charleston's pitching after a tough first 3 innings comes up clutch here in the 9th. And they win this game by a score of 6-4. The Blue Crabs led 4-0, a 1-run in the bottom of the 5th. They scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th. And the Charleston Dirty Birds beat the Blue Crabs 6-4. Well, Southern Maryland with the loss falls to 33-12. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs will look to win the series tomorrow in game 3. It's a Sunday matinee. We'll be back with you for game 3 of this contest. We're going to go through some of the bigger players in tonight's game in just one moment. Also run you through the line scores for the pitchers. Starting with Southern Maryland, Darrell Thompson went 5 innings, 11 hits, 4 runs. Did not walk a batter, he struck out just 2. When he left the game, he'd only allowed 2 runs. Patrick Baker entered And both the runs that were left on base from Daryl Thompson came around and scored. Patrick Baker allowed 2 runs, walked 1, he hit 2. Dalton Geeky came in from there, went 1 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Dario Polanco entered the game for the final out in the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs lose today's ball game 6-4. Blue Crabs fall tonight, but let's take a look at some of the bigger performances at the plate. It was Michael Wolanski who got everything started for the Blue Crabs. In the first inning with a solo shot to left center. Jared Walker in the 3rd inning added to the Blue Crabs lead. He had an RBI double that scored Michael Baca. And David Harris, who had 2 hits on the night, also had an RBI double. That gave the Blue Crabs a 4-0 lead at the time. Harris was 2 for 4. Alex Crosby 1 for 4. He also scored a run. Braxton Lee drove in an RBI. He was 0 for 4 though. DeLuca had 1 hit. He was 1 for 4 with a trio of strikeouts. And Ryan Haug went 0 for 3. He did reach base today. He was walked. He also reached on an error. Well, that will do it from us here today on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network, brought to you by Hometown Real Estate. We're going to make sure we have the start time right for you tomorrow, as the Blue Crabs will take on Charleston. It's a 5 p.m. start time on Sunday. Charleston does their Sunday games much later than everybody else does, so it will be a late night for the Blue Crabs tomorrow. And the bus back to Southern Maryland late Sunday night. The team has the off day on Monday, and then we'll return to Regency Furniture Stadium on Tuesday. The Blue Crabs' next home game at the Reagan Waldorf will be against Staten Island. That'll be on Tuesday night. They're home for 6 consecutive games against Staten Island and Lancaster. Well, that'll do it from us tonight. The Blue Crabs fall 6-4. Before we go, we're going to give you some scores from around the Atlantic League. As Long Island falls to Staten Island, the Blue Crabs lead atop the division will remain at 11.5 games. High Point is losing to Gastonia 6-4. That was a major series in the South Division, as it is very competitive down there in the South Division. But all of a sudden, after High Point took the lead in the division, it's since been Gastonia who's responded in force. Gastonia holds on to this 6-4 lead. They would now have a 3-game advantage in the South Division. Well, again, that will do it from us here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Austin Rooney signing off tonight as the Blue Crabs fall 6-4. That will do it from us, and as always, we conclude with Let's Go Blue Crabs, back tomorrow night at 5 p.m. for Game 3 of the series.